Guys, Francois T here. So it's getting on the later side of things here in Australia. So getting on to 12:30 in the morning. But I just came across the tragedy that happened in Charlottesville. Um, I wasn't actually aware of this situation, and then I saw someone write something about it on Facebook, so I decided to do a little bit of research, and what I found out absolutely astounded me. Um, from what I've heard from the media, um, there was a white supremacist group um, that I guess attacked or tried to attack or something. There was a tragedy. At least 3 people died. Um, and it's being related to white supremacy. So I don't know too much about it, but I'm going to read this little article that I've just found. So hopefully we can learn a bit about it together. If you're in the room, say hi. I'll give you a shout out. We can just have a quick talk about this. Um, so the man accused of ramming a car into a crowd of anti-racism protesters in the United States was photographed that morning holding a shield with the emblem of a white supremacist group. So first of all, obviously there was a crowd of anti-racism protesters in Charlottesville, and this guy um, rammed a car into that crowd. That's sick. Vanguard America denies that James Alex Fields Jr. is a member of its group and says it handed out shields to anyone in attendance who wanted them. I can't believe this is still going on. The Anti-Defamation League says Vanguard America believes the US is an exclusively white nation and uses propaganda to recruit young white men online and on college campuses. Seriously. Heather Heyer, 32, was fatally injured after being mowed down in Charlottesville, Virginia, by a vehicle allegedly driven by Fields. The FBI has launched a civil rights investigation, and local authorities have already charged the man, who was 20, by the way, with second-degree murder and 3 counts of malicious wounding. Ms. Hayes was in a group that had launched a counter-protest to the weekend White Power demonstration in the city in America's southeast. Police allege Fields deliberately drove his car into the crowd in what some politicians have declared as an act of domestic terrorism. She was killed and 19 others injured. A fundraising campaign for Ms. Heyer has already raised tens of thousands of dollars for her family, which I guess that's a good thing. But still, it should never have happened. Relatives of Fields told the Washington Post that he grew up mostly in northern Kentucky and had been raised by a single mother who was a paraplegic, which should have no basis on him becoming a white supremacist. Not really friendly, an uncle told the paper of Fields he was more subdued. His former high school history teacher described Fields as someone infatuated with the Nazis. He was very infatuated with the Nazis, Adolf Hitler. He was very infatuated with the Nazis with Adolf Hitler. Derek Weimer told Cincinnati's WCPO news channel. All right, guys, just a moment. All right, so I'm just gonna come quickly into the room and say a quick hello. It is very sad, Marissa. I only just found out about it. Hi, Alias as well, who is here. Marissa says the video is more like drove full throttle into a crowd, then back down, and it was horrible. I can't believe this happened. Obviously, there are people out there who are white supremacists. Obviously, we know about the KKK. But the fact, I mean, you can't very well sit here and say, I'm in shock that this happened and it shouldn't happen because it's 2017, because everyone, sort of does their own thing, and so you can't be too surprised about it. But at the same time, I'm quite sickened by the fact that this has happened. And I'm so sorry to everyone in Charlottesville that this has happened. Race has been an issue for a very long time, and I thought we had gotten to a point where at least races were being civil to each other. And from what I read, these people during the protest were basically protesting against racism. Like, that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. I'm just really torn up about this. Haley says, if the killer was 20, he had so much to live for. Yeah, so apparently he was 20 years of age and had a few issues. He was, I guess, raised by his single mother who was a paraplegic in Kentucky. But again, I just find all of this circumstantial. None of that sort of leads me to think that he would naturally grow up to be a white supremacist, that's for sure. Marissa says, there is one man who was interviewed at this and he said they were taking their country back the way Trump promised he would. Yeah, so that's something that's really upsetting me too, is I do think it's Trump related. I don't know a lot about what's gone down since Trump took over presidency in the United States of America. One thing about being fortunate about living in Australia is that I'm far enough away from it, and I'm not so involved in what's going on with Trump politically. Since he got into the House, it was a very dark day, but I guess it's starting. People were saying that things were going to change once he got into the House, and clearly it's happening. And if he's saying, what did you say there, Marissa? They were taking their country back the way Trump promised he would. Yeah, so basically they're saying they were influenced by Trump. Then that's really bad. I'm so sorry to hear that this event occurred. Yeah, sorry. It all just hit me. I was sitting here watching the finale for Shadowhunters, and then that finished, and I went on Facebook and saw this and did some research, and then found all this stuff, and I guess I'm just in a bit of shock, and straight away knew that we had to have a chat for it. I'm just so surprised that I didn't know about it. Apparently it happened like 2 days ago or something, so I'm really surprised I did not know about this. I don't quite really know what else to say. Obviously, I haven't been watching the news lately, because if I had, I probably would have known about this. I don't know too much about what's going on, only the little things that I've read. So if anyone else wants to give me some more information about what they know, that would be great. But it's just so terrible. I mean, it's terrible at any time, but to happen in 2017 is ridiculous. And if it's true that they are being inspired by Trump, and wow, I mean, how far back, as a culture, I guess you could say, is the United States going when it comes to those people who are taking inspiration from such a narrow-minded man? And the reality is, whether people want to admit it or not, it's that America definitely influences a lot of other countries. It certainly influences Australia in many ways. Yeah, we still don't celebrate Thanksgiving, who knows why, but it does influence Australia. So I hope that this supremacy thing doesn't catch on over here. It's ridiculous that it's happening in Charlottesville. Okay, so some more people have come on, so I'm just going to go back to your comments very quickly. He was saying he's scared that his friend may kill herself. I'm so sorry to hear that, Alias. Is this something that's happening right now? If that is the case, I would definitely advise you to get on to a suicidal hotline and speak to a counsellor. I don't know whereabouts you're from. Certainly in Australia we have them, and I'm sure they would have them in the US. So definitely speak to someone about it. It's a very scary situation to be in. I've been there myself, in a situation of having a friend who was going to kill themselves, so it's not easy. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Definitely recommend get on to the suicide hotline as soon as you can. Marissa says, oh no, what? Landon says, I've made it to the chat, praying for everyone impacted by the Charlottesville attack. I'm so happy that you're here, Landon. I'm so sorry that it comes under such bad circumstances, but it is so great to have you back. We've been missing you. Marissa saying, hey to Landon. Ayla says, I feel like she's just very depressed when she said on Instagram she's worthless. Yeah, maybe just try talking to her. Maybe you'll be able to turn things around by talking to her. Sometimes that helps. Uh, so, Lennon says, I'm flying to New York today and it's made me very nervous. I'm not surprised, Langdon. With everything that's going on, this is really not good. Just be very careful. Tori says, it's not Trump related, honestly. They're using him as an excuse to do evil things. Trump himself did a press release stating what happened and was completely unacceptable. Oh, well, there you go. I mean, obviously I can't comment too much on it. I don't know too much about the situation. I don't know too much about what's happening with Donald Trump at the moment. But it is completely unacceptable. If he said that, he's absolutely right. Landon saying hi to Marissa. Alias is saying it'll be okay. Landon, I really hope so, Alias. Let us know. Let me know how you get on. Marissa says, if you're really concerned, Alias, you need to consider calling 911. Scary, I know I've been there and called on people who are thousands of miles away and don't regret it. Yeah, definitely. I didn't when I was going through that with a friend. I'm lucky my friend survived. But I definitely should have. In retrospect, if I could do it again, I would have called our 911, which here in Australia is 000. Tori says, what happened shouldn't have happened at all. Exactly right. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest and those white supremacist groups showed up with bats looking for a fight. Unbelievably ridiculous. I mean, as I say, it's supposed to be a peaceful protest, like, you know, free speech and all that. Obviously, you know, these groups are bad anyway, but I really thought things had changed and that at least races were civil of one another. Yeah. I almost, when I saw some of the footage, I saw some of it before we started the chat, I honestly felt like I was watching a really old movie. Like, I didn't think this was something that continued to happen to this day. Maybe I'm living under a rock when it comes to white supremacy. I'm very lucky as a Caucasian male. But if anything, I've always, you know, not only suggested but preached equality for everyone. Doesn't matter who you are, white, dark, male, female, gay, straight, whatever. Everyone should be treated equally. So I'm very surprised about this. But yeah, I don't really know much about the backstory or about Charlottesville or anything like that, so I can't really comment on if it's a big surprise or not really. But for me, I feel like it's a huge surprise. Alias says, thanks, Marissa. I just don't know her address. I mean, we're friends, but not like we hang out every day as friends. Well, she said something on her social media. Maybe respond to her social media. That might strike up a conversation. If you have her on Facebook, maybe you can start messaging her on Facebook. Marissa says to Tori, I think the big issue is that the people doing the crimes are saying they are white supremacists / KKK and so on, and are acting on it now because of Trump's campaign promises. I think that is a big issue. Whether or not it is actually inspired by Trump remains to be seen. People can say things, and it might be true, it might not be true. I can't comment either way, I don't know enough, but either way, it's really scary that it's happening. Landon says, Alias, the best thing to do is be there for your friend and know when to escalate things if she needs help. If she has active suicidal ideation, she needs medical attention immediately. Yeah, exactly. So you just have to work out what stage she's at and have a chat with her. Hopefully that will calm things down. That's very good advice, Landon. Alias says, okay, thanks, Langdon. Marissa says, how old is she? Alias says, I'll just say she has a lot of life ahead of her. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I saw on Snapchat, you're not worthless. I'm glad you said that. That's good. Hopefully you'll get something back from him. Tori says the U.S. Justice Department has changed the driver with domestic terrorism, and they're looking for the rest of the white supremacists so they can charge them too. That's really good to hear, Tori. I'm very happy to hear that. Hopefully we'll hear about some more arrests. Definitely, they're already talking about it being terrorism, so that makes it even more scary. But we'll have to see. Jody's here. Hi, Jody. I'm so sorry you have to join us on such a terrible moment in this chat, but it's so great to have you back. Jody and Landon both back with us today, so thank you very much, both of you, for being here. And I hope you can join me for one of my more positive chats. Marissa says there are actually some states that are considering anti-protest laws that will allow you to hit peaceful protesters on roadways. The USA is a big mess right now, so sad. Are you serious? Oh my god. Allow you to hit peaceful protesters on roadways? Oh my god. It's terrible. So Jody is asking for a quick recap. I'm honestly not the best person to give you a recap. I honestly don't know much about it, but basically in Charlottesville, there was an there was a peaceful protest going on about, anti-racism, and these, so to say, white supremacists showed up, and one of them, a 20-year-old male, got in a car and actually drove the car basically right to the protesters. And I don't know, I think the person is dead. Like, one of the people is actually dead, which is really sad. Two officers that were trying to help everything were actually killed as well. It's just really, really terrible. And this is, what states are they? So it's in Charlottesville. So let me see whereabouts that is. So Charlottesville is in Virginia. So there you go. So it's in Virginia. Yeah. Marissa says, I just sent you a link to some of the proposed law changes on protests in the USA. Thank you, Marissa. That will be some very interesting reading. Thank you. Yeah, Tori's saying Charlottesville, Virginia. I don't know if one of them's Alabama, but definitely the one I'm talking about is Charlottesville, Virginia. Landon says, when can I move to Australia? What are the laws like where you live, Francois? Does your country have racial prejudice as much as the US does? I can't speak for the other states, but I can definitely speak for the city of Melbourne, where I live. Melbourne's a very multicultural city, so I don't see a lot of racial issues in Melbourne. So yeah, so you can come here tomorrow, Landon, get your flight to come to Australia. No, we're pretty lucky over here. I don't remember the last time something like this happened in Melbourne. I think it happened in Sydney quite a few years ago, but it hasn't happened in Melbourne for a very, very, very long time. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm quite shocked as well about this, because it's just not something that you expect to happen, especially with a peaceful protest, which this was. This was a very peaceful protest, protesting against racism. I would be highly shocked to see something like this happen in Melbourne. I think if anything, people will probably join the protest. And he says, I mean, what are the states that are allowed to hit protesters? Oh, I don't know. So I've been sent, obviously, Marissa sent me the information. I'll look over that. I don't know if you want me to look over it during the chat, Marissa, or if you want me to look at it after we're done. But Marissa's saying none yet, alias. North Dakota is one that's considering off the top of my head. Wow. Tori says, oh, Tennessee is the only one so far that I know of that you can hit protesters. So Tennessee's already passed the law. Wow, that's unbelievable. Marissa says, Florida also wants to except drivers from hitting anyone from what I see while scrolling. Oh my god. That is so terrible. Here I am complaining about equal rights for gay people to get married in Australia, and yeah, look at what's happening in America. It's really sad because I love the United States. Like I have, as you guys know, I have a deeply profound respect for the United States of America. I feel like things have started going downhill since Trump got in office. I mean, no president's perfect, but Trump made some very outlandish statements during his campaign, and it definitely, I feel like it has or will fuel things in the future. Again, I can't say too much because I don't live there, but the things I heard him say in his campaign, I was really worried. I can't believe he actually got elected. But yeah, Marissa says Georgia, Iowa also want to. Oh my god, seriously. Jody says you should see some of the South African protests. Violence is an understatement. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the things that happen in South Africa for sure. I'm surprised that it's happening in Western culture, and I probably shouldn't. Those quizzes you take that say, how would your friends best describe you? I think my friends would best describe me as naively having a positive outlook on life. So I always want to believe the best in people. So it may be a very outlandish statement to say in Western culture, I'm surprised that we're actually doing this. Like I thought we were much more liberal and open-minded. And just everyone was at least civil. Like I know that people have disagreements when it comes to race and all that, but at least they were civil to each other. And now saying this, it's just completely blown me away. Tori, I think you hit the nail on the head. Tori says violence is everywhere. It's a disease. Yeah, it's terrible. I honestly don't know what else to say. But as I said, I knew we had to have a chat about this. Landon says, I wish people would realize that no matter your race, we're all God's children. Imagine how much stronger our nation would be if we all worked together instead of all this fighting. Yeah, exactly right. Much stronger, much stronger if we work together. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, so I just honestly I don't know how to feel about this, and as I said, I've just sort of jumped into it feeling like we definitely need to have a chat. But yeah, I'll let you guys comment for a little bit longer if you'd like. And then after that, I might just go away and try and process this. I'm so lucky that I'm in Charlottesville right now because I don't know how I will be coping with this. But certainly I may be physically millions of miles away. But oh my gosh, it's hitting over here, that's for sure. Marissa says a peaceful protest should not be violent, and violence like hitting with cars should not be the idea the government is placing on people's heads. I completely agree. A peaceful protest is, as it says, a peaceful protest. It's just ridiculous. One of the things I love about America, the United States of America, is the First Amendment and freedom of speech. And yet, when you have a group that's trying to enact their freedom of speech by peacefully protesting about everything that's happening to do with racism and being against racism, which is a really good thing to be protesting to have this happen. Oh my god, it's unbelievable. I honestly just don't know what else to say. So yeah. So I just leave it to you guys for a moment. If you want to leave a comment or say something, you certainly can. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to be finishing this up really soon. Tori says, by the way, I'm sorry I haven't been around much, guys. Oh, Tori, it's totally fine. I've missed you all. I'm currently dealing with the death of two close friends who were like family. I loved being here, but I need to go shower. It's totally fine. You need to go shower. We love you too. She says, love, bye. We love you too, Tori, and we're so sorry for your losses. But thank you so much for being here. Hopefully we'll see you at another chat that's a bit more upbeat. Marissa says, I feel like as a Christian country that the USA really needs to work on things at home rather than fighting in other countries for rights and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Jody says, you must watch the Turkish PLL. It'll probably give me a good laugh, Jody, if I do. Yeah. Marissa says, as the Bible says, do not remove the speck from your other's eye until you have removed the log from your own. It's a very good quote. I must say, I don't read the Bible because I'm not a Christian, but that's actually a really good quote. I like that. I like that quite a lot. Alright, guys. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys go. But thank you so much for coming here. It's been good to just have this moment to talk about this. If you're watching this delayed, feel free to comment below and say the sound off and say whatever it is you would like to say. If you guys would like to have another Charlottesville, sorry, I'm just seeing Jody's comment. Jody's going, no, don't leave. Oh, Jody, we love you, girl. But it is getting rather later now, so I do have to go. But that's why I'm saying if you guys would like to have another Charlottesville chat, then let me know and I'll try and come up with something that's at a better time than this. If you haven't already, and no, I'm not plugging it, I'm just saying while I'm thinking about it. If you haven't already, please join the comment below and let me know Facebook group. That will keep you up to date with all the ins and outs and going ons with comment below and let me know. Just search it in the search bar and it will come up. I believe we're the only comment below and let me know group. Jody's saying no more leaving, as in no wire hangers. Oh, Jody. I rewatched my reaction to the finale of PLL and our first live chat at the Radley Sanitarium last night, and oh my god, I felt the anger coming through the screen as I rewatched it. It's been a while. But anyway, guys, I do really have to go. I'm so sorry. I actually have an early day tomorrow, so I need to go. But it's great having you guys here, and we'll definitely do another chat on this. But as I say, join the Facebook page because I do impromptu live chats there as well. Yeah, maybe if you join the page, you can let me know what times are good times for you guys to do chats. It'd be great to see all the people that I haven't seen in a while. So Jody, I haven't seen for a while, so thank you so much for being here. And as well as Landon. Landon, thank you so much for coming along. It's been a while since I've seen you as well. You guys are amazing, so thank you for making it. It's great to see. It's like seeing family members you haven't seen for a little while, so thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Let's just saying night night, yeah, well, night night back to you, or have a good day, I should say. All right, guys, so thank you very much for watching, and, you know, I mean, I may not be religious, but I will always say, God bless America. You know, God bless those who are in Charlottesville. I don't know what caused this to happen, but let us hope that something like this does not happen again. And I think that's where I'll leave it for now. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon.